Right, boys and girls, I've dropped bollock. Oh boy, it is a cold, damp, dark morning out there this morning. This morning, I've got a drone job up north. So, I am going to kill two birds with one stone. And go drive up north, do this drone job, and then on my way back, I'm going to call in at Chesterfield and pick up the lightweight plywood for the furniture.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
It's quite an interesting drone job. It's a 19th century warehouse that's falling down and nobody's allowed in it, so I have to send my drones in to have a look around and photograph it every month. There, that's that done. And I'm frozen. The trouble with drone work is you stood around quite a bit. So we'll get going down the motorway, warm up a bit, and go and pick this furniture up.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Hello, I found a earlier. I've come to pick some plywood up. That'll do me, perfect.
Can't stop.
Fun fact for you, when I left school in 1988, I started a YTS scheme as a cabinet maker, working 6 days a week for 40 quid. Rubbish. As a leftover from my cabinet making days, I don't really like that plastic edging that they put in camper vans. I think it looks a bit cheap. Now the beauty with this Sobrano wood, if you cut the plywood and sand the edges up, you get these nice layers of different wood. If you stain that in a dark colour, it looks pretty much the same as the surface. But first of all, I need to get the saw bed set up in here. Right, let's do the first cut and see what sort of edge we get. Can't reach. There we go, people, that's the first bit in. I've made all these so that they're removable so you can get to all the electronics. I was going to put my magnetic clips, but I thought, you know what, you don't need to get in there very often, and there's always a risk that magnetic clips can rattle. Another little pro tip, make sure your seats slid all the way back before you start building, otherwise you might end up with a bit of a problem. You know what, it's almost like I planned it. Right, boys and girls, this is what happens when you get cocky. I've dropped bollock, because when the bed's down, it comes across the fridge door, which means you can't open the fridge door when you're in bed. And that's no good when you want a cup of tea in the morning. So I think I'm going to have to take all this out, start again. Right, there we are, back to where I was first thing this morning. I've moved all the stuff that was behind the driver's seat into the kitchen cupboard, which meant my fridge has been able to shift up. And so we'll try again tomorrow. Morning everybody. Look how cold it is. While you were away, I decided to try and end my day on a positive note. So I made this. This goes here, and it means that you can push the driver's seat all the way back and keep the fridge as far up the front of the van as possible so that the bed doesn't interfere with it when the bed's made. I've got that funny deja vu feeling. No, wait a minute, it's not deja vu. I have literally been here before. Well, I tell you what, that's not bad for a first scribe. Oh, bloody hell. Is it going to be one of them days again? There's a couple of ways of building this furniture. One, you can build units in a workshop and then fit them, a bit like the ones you buy on eBay. Or you can fit it piece by piece like I've done here, which is the way I prefer to do it. Two reasons. You can get a better fit with all your bits and pieces, and you can do things like wire up these plugs without having to climb inside a cupboard and do it. Ooh, word to your mother. Right, we're all about innovation on this channel. There's two types of these corner profiles that you can buy for camper vans. There's a tight round and this longer round. The longer round one is a little bit more expensive, but I prefer it because it looks better and it means I can do this with my tambour door, which is going to look great on the back door for the wardrobe. Morning folks, bit of a chilly one again. Got some worktops. I've gone for this kitchen backboard for my worktops rather than the lightweight plywood because two reasons. One, it's a little bit cheaper, and two, it's got a thicker laminate on it than the lightweight plywood has, so it should be harder wearing. It's only 7mm thick, but what I'll do is I'll cut a strip off and we'll double that up to 14mm. And then I shall sand and paint the edges gloss black. Coming up next on the channel is a Ford Transit Luton van with nice straight vertical walls. Yeah? See where I'm going? Don't worry if not, just keep watching. Apologies for the audio on those last few clips, but it wasn't me, it was your device. Now, where we at? So, I've doubled up the thickness on this worktop. I have painted it with some of that high build primer that I had left over from the bumpers. I've sanded that down and now I'm just filling the last few imperfections and then I'll sand that and then we'll get it painted black. Beautiful. Smooth as a really smooth thing. Well, the work going into that, there's hardly anything left of it. Oh yeah, baby. It's coming together now. Right, internet people, I need you to use your imagination a bit. Imagine we've got our bench installed in here, which is roughly where it's going to be. Imagine you're away with your partner on a nice weekend in your camper van. You sat there, you're watching the latest informative, entertaining video on YouTube from Carl Beadle. Oh. And your partner says to you, why don't we go for a walk? It's a beautiful day. So, you click subscribe, you click the bell icon, you put your iPad down, you say, hang on, I'll just get the walking boots out the wardrobe.
Where the bloody hell are they? Why do we always have to bring so much stuff every weekend?
Well, that's no good, is it? So I've fitted these, so I'm going to make a fully extendable drawer that pulls right out the back of the van so you can access all that storage area. But before I do that, I've got to wire this in here. And before I wire this in, I've got to get the bench in. But before I get the bench in, I've got to get the floor down. So guess what we're doing next? And there we go. There's our flooring. Oh, and only one tile left. Now we've got to see if the bench fits. Right, moment of truth. Is mine measuring up to scratch? Let's find out. Good. It should have a bit of play down each side because I didn't want it too tight. These beds are quite narrow, so if you can steal a centimetre or two down each side, then it's always advisable. You have to remember we've got to come past this bit. That bit's not important. It's this bit that's the critical bit. Do you know what? We are supposed to live in the driest part of the country. I think I must have picked the wettest 2 months on record to do this camper van conversion, and it ain't helping none. There we go. That's that in. Not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Mind you, it's filled my workspace up a bit. Good job there's not an awful lot left to do. So I better get on with it. I don't like them. I don't like them. I think I'm going to take that off, and I've bought this 3M VHB tape. It's really strong, double-sided like gel tape. They use it in the construction industry, I think, for sticking windows to buildings. So I'm sure it'll be fine for sticking my handle on. That's better. Right, I've got to make this strip light look pretty. All these bright LEDs. So what I think I'm going to do, we'll get a piece of plywood like that, we'll put a nice chamfer on there, then we'll cut a slot in it, and then I'll rebate a piece of Perspex in there, which I shall sand both sides so it gives it a nice opaque look, so that these aren't so intense then.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Body so salty, I'll still take a bite.
You can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show.
A tricky little shape, we've got angles all over the place. But I think you'll find it fits rather nicely. So now we've got to router this bit out so that we can see the LEDs, and then recess a little bit of Perspex in there.
You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Body so salty, I'll still take a bite.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
Okay, so I've lined the kitchen cupboard out with a back and a bottom. They're on magnetic clips, so they just come out like this. So you can access all of the electronics behind it. Now we've got to get on with doing some doors.
We be faster than Django.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop.
What do you reckon? I reckon that's all right. Just put some catches on it and we're laughing. Right, tricky little bit now. We've got to make this tambour door curl around that space and curl up into this holder. So I've got to figure that out now. Well, I've kind of already got it figured out, but I've got to make it happen. First thing we've got to do is we've got to mount these holders just here. So we need some sort of bracket to stop it doing that, and the same at the top. Because what happens is the tambour door coils up and stores inside that little coil. So first of all, we're going to have to cut some brackets down. I think I'd better change that one, don't you? Don't want that coming off and going in between your eyes, burying itself in the middle of your brain. That wouldn't be a good day at the office.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Right, there we go. That's that in its holder. Now we can get the rest of the rails on.
I'm gonna take you on a ride.
That's that in. The only thing is now, all this looks a bit so we're going to pretty this up with some aluminium. Make it look real purty. Didn't I tell you I was going to make it look purty? I even put the bed down so you can see how purty it looks. I think I've probably been working too long on my own. Next job, I've got to make something that goes over that so that when you ram your cupboard full of stuff, it doesn't get caught on that. So I'll just make a simple frame and then wrap it in some carpet, I think. Yeah? Yeah? You digging me?